Hey YouTube, Rico Knows here. Going to continue my series of identifying hidden gems. I'm doing one hidden gem for every single team in college football. This video is going to be about FAU and their hidden gem. But before I get to it, I just want to remind everybody, go to the homepage. Go to YouTube, search Rico Knows, go check the playlist, find the Hidden Gems playlist, and learn about all the other hidden gems, okay? So now we're here to talk about hidden gems at FAU. I look at their offense. That's great and all. I've talked about all these players at length in multiple videos. If you're an MVP, you know what I'm talking about. I will break down every single team, talk about every position group. I will tell you who's going to win games. That's what I do. I'm a capper. I analyze games. I provide picks. Shout out to the Patreon and all the MVPs out there. If you want to join the channel, go to YouTube or Patreon, and I'll give you my rundown on how many games I think these teams are going to win, who they're going to beat, how they line up, how they match up. But in this particular video, I want to talk about the defense. I want to say that the front seven, right? The front defensive line doesn't really move me all that much. The defensive tackles are fine. They have really good size. They've been around for a while. I appreciate them for what they are. But in my assessment, very underwhelming front four. Very underwhelming. And the depth behind it, I like Chisholm. It's cool. But the rest of it just really doesn't move me like that. It's not a negative. It's just the reality of the situation. Their linebackers, absolutely phenomenal. When I watched the tape, Desmond Trisdale came over from Auburn, played great last year. It looks like he's going to be a part of the linebacker core that's going to dominate for this team. And then shout out to Jackson Ambush, led the team in tackles. He's that guy. You have two stud linebackers. Love it. When I get to corner, Day Hill can play. Straight up, Day Hill can play. There's no other way to put it. Day Hill can play, and Kahzir Brown just transferred in from the FCS. We're going to talk about him in this video. He is the hidden gem. We'll talk about it. And then at safety, I really like Philip Dunham. All right, just transferred in from Indiana. Started several games for Indiana last year. I'm watching the tape. Kid looks like he can play, and it's just nice to see some of these kids on defense. If you didn't know, a couple of these guys are just transferring home. They just wanted to be closer to home, wanted to be in Florida. One guy who's transferring, and it has nothing to do with being closer to home, is Kahzir Brown right here. Kahzir Brown is a Jersey kid, okay? He played in Trenton, New Jersey, and in high school, he was a wide receiver. And he wanted to play wide receiver and just stick to wide receiver. Unfortunately for him, not too many schools were interested in his wide receiver tape. So you see his senior highlights here. He goes by Bugs, by the way. That's his nickname. And not a lot of views on the huddle tape. Not getting a ton of offers and a ton of traction. So he starts showing you DB tape. And when you look at it, it looks like a low-level football. No knock on them. Obviously, I do a lot of high school film reviews. I watch a ton of huddle tape. But we see a young man right here with the length, the size that you're looking for a defensive back. At 6'3", playing corner, you match up well with those X receivers. If you can just show the type of, courage to come up and make a tackle, they're going to like you a lot. If you have good hips and good coordination, they're going to like you a lot. So this high school tape doesn't do much for me because it's so long ago. Remember, this is back in 2020, 2019 time frame. And the young man has been lifting weights, getting bigger, stronger, faster at the collegiate level for the last 3-4 years. So seeing him now on tape is a little different. Like, I watch him now, and it looks like he knows what he's doing with the ball, like with the ball in the air. And what I mean by that is he's studying tape. He's studying tape. I read an interview where he talked about how he went and he intercepted a pass and he tricked the quarterback into throwing and all this other stuff. What you guys need to know is he plays in a conference in the FCS. If you play at Maine, that means you play against some really good teams. Monmouth, you play against New Hampshire. We're talking about Bosmer at quarterback who just transferred to Minnesota. You're playing against people who are Dylan Lobby, dudes in the NFL killing it for the Raiders right now. Yeah, this is who you're playing against. And this young man can play. So before you start thinking, well, he can't transfer to the American and compete. Yes, he can. So I watch him on tape. He made reference in an interview to this interception. So I go find it, right? And I'm watching him, and he's baiting the quarterback into making a throw. He already knew the quarterback was going to throw it just by the disguise he gave him. The pre-snap read, he knew where the quarterback was going to throw it, and he says, oh, my God, he bit and he threw it. So he's laughing all the way to the bank. I think he runs back the interception for 37 yards, gets tackled. Here's the point, though. That quarterback is Tony Muskett, and Tony Muskett's a hell of a quarterback, and he just transferred to Virginia, right? And he's fighting for the starting job with that Anthony Colandrea. But the point I'm trying to make is this young man watches tape, applies it to the field, and I love people with football IQ. You got the height. You got the 6'3", 210. You got the right size at corner. But when I start seeing you manipulating quarterbacks who are actually pretty damn good and playing at the FBS level, Now you're ready. So now he's in the American. He's at FAU. He has other DBs with him that are all really good. Like I said, not a great pass rush, at least not from what I see on tape. But the linebackers are good, so you're going to have great help in the hook to curl. You're going to have great help in the flats or hook to curl, whatever you're running on your scheme in that particular play. And that gives you more confidence knowing that these safeties got your back as well. But the man is 6'3", and he can line up against anybody. You want to know where Rutgers found Demir Miller? In that same conference, in the FCS. Like, you guys got to study the players they're going up against. Before you try to say one of these players can't make it, you better look at who they were playing against when they were in that conference. I'm really encouraged by this young man. Kahzir Brown is my hidden gem for FAU. I apologize I can't show you game film because they'll give me a copyright violation, but I watched the hell out of as much tape as I could. And I went searching around for all these plays, and all I got to tell you is this guy looks the part. I love it. Hidden gem all day. Usually I don't talk about starters or superstars. So here we have a young man. Hopefully one day we see him in the Senior Bowl and you can be like, yo, I remember when Rico talked about him. So your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Please go watch the rest of the playlist, learn about all the hidden gems. Shout out to Kahzir Brown. Peace.